What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another episode here on Raysnightshift, where we talk about streaming and everything related to streaming. Today we're going to be talking about the art of self-promotion. Do you self-promote yourself in a good light? I know some people look at it as, oh, you're being fake. Don't listen to people. Anybody negative like that is just always looking to bring somebody down. Don't listen to people like that. At the end of the day, self-promotion is actually a good thing. It's basically everywhere, whether you want to admit it or not. Guys and girls do it all the time. When you first start dating, there's a little bit of self-promotion there. Oh, I really like hiking. I really like doing this. And yeah, you do like it, but are you promoting it in a sense that's reality? Or would you be better off saying, you know, I like watching TV and eating popcorn, watching some Grey's Anatomy? That's a reference for somebody. So essentially, everybody's always self-promoting, right? It's not a bad thing to have self-promotion. And when you're a Twitch streamer or streamer in general, starting your own content creation, you need to be able to have the ability to promote yourself. So I will start it off. I have not said this yet on this channel, but this channel is going to get 100,000 subscribers in the future. Now, I'm only at 60 now, but I guarantee you with the work I've been putting into this channel, it is going to happen. Bottom line, I am working on this. So A plus B equals C, and I hope you come along with me for the ride. So consider subscribing and be number 61. Now, outside of that shameless plug, let's keep talking about self-promotion here a little bit. Now, a little story on myself. I happen to enjoy MMA. I like the UFC. I like watching fights, and it's something that I've always kept up with. And if I was to ask you, who are two MMA fighters that you know of, even if you don't know anything about the MMA scene, you probably know at least two. And I'm going to assume it is Conor McGregor and Ronda Rousey. And why is that? Well, Ronda came in like she was, you know, Mike Tyson for the women's division. She flagshipped that division of women's MMA and really took on that role of just unstoppable. And she really carried that persona until, well, inevitably she was stopped. But that act of self-promotion of I am the best and no one can take me down and nobody can finish me and stuff like that, that is what projected her into the spotlight of, well, mainstream. And it's even similar with a kid like Conor McGregor. I mean, if you look at some of his earlier stuff, he's just a kid pretty much saying, I'm going to be in the UFC and I am going to be the champion of, he was doing all that stuff and he really believed it. And you know what? It came to fruition. But that act of self-promotion is what really made him who he is today. Even to this day, he's still self-promoting. Now, there comes a time where you're just like, whoa, like chill a little bit. But hey, he's still going at it and he's still just living his best life. Now, we get to the point of our next discussion, which is self-promotion and accountability. These are two things that always need to be connected. If not, the whole thing falls apart. Why is that? Well, it's because the second you don't do what you say you were going to do, it's over. Like your facade is done. That's why a lot of people, when they say I'm the best ever and then they get stopped like 2-3 times, they just can't play the card anymore because it's not funny. Unless you're the greatest of all time, Chael Sonnen, which he's never lost a round or anything like that. So if you're in MMA, you'll get that reference. What does that have to do with your stream? What does that have to do with everything I'm talking about here? And it comes down to having a goal, essentially. And I know people have a bad stigma with self-promotion, but we all do it, whether you want to believe it or not. It's not just the cocky dude that doesn't be quiet about himself. And just to make a point here, if you're the cocky guy that all he does is talk about himself, nobody cares. Like legit nobody cares because they see through it. You're hiding insecurities. There's a certain point where, like I said, self-promotion has to meet accountability. If there's too much of this and not enough accountability, again, the whole thing falls. So how do we do this right? Especially if you're a streamer. Say you just want to be a streamer, right? You can take the Ludwig approach and just, well, start making content around your stream. Like today I'm going to start a cooking stream and I'm going to upload it to YouTube and that way I'm cross-pollinating my content. You could do that. If you don't have a knack for that, you could do similarly what I'm doing. Start your own YouTube channel because, well, doing both is kind of rough. So it's all about the angle of you. What do you want to do as far as your self-promotion? I mean, obviously there's more than YouTube. You also got TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. All those avenues can pull people onto your stream. But again, it's all going to come down to your storytelling, what you're showing out there. Personally, I think Shroud is one of the best streamers out there, in my opinion. I just like how he's so calm and collected. He's just while he's pretty much taking out an entire lobby, so he lets his work do the self-promoting. But even him, a guy that's just dominating the competition, right, and just dominating on these online games, even he, with all those clips of him doing great stuff, he was aware that, hey, I need to do the social media game. I got to do all that stuff. So these days, Shroud is more taking the approach of I don't need to impress anybody, or I don't need to do anything that anybody tells me. And that's cool. He got to that level. So you get to dictate how far you go in this game, which is actually pretty nice. So you don't have to just make YouTube channels. You don't have to just be streaming 24/7 for a little bit of promotion here. You can also just be someone in the crowd. I mean, believe it or not, just being in someone's community is self-promotion. I mean, people see the same name over and over and over. Eventually they click on it. You know what they say, if you hang out at the barbershop long enough, eventually you get your hair cut. That's kind of how it is in the community as well. I mean, once you become a name, people start saying, hey, who is this guy? Who is this guy? You know, he's really relating to these videos, and I relate to these videos, so let me see if we can link ideals here. So it's not all about just, I'm the best ever, I do this, I do that. It's also just, you know, bringing other people up as well. So that's another powerful way of self-promotion. I mean, ultimately, all this is just how personable are you? You know, how I'm not trying to be friends with everybody in the world, because I know it's not possible, but anybody that rocks with my style, anybody that rocks with me, I want to have you around. And I'd like to, you know, give you a nice, comfortable place to share your thoughts, share your opinions, and that's what this is all about. So with that said, what are your thoughts on self-promotion? Did you end up liking the way I conveyed this message, or is something just a little bit off here, something that maybe I missed? By all means, comment down below, hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and go ahead and subscribe as we reach our goal for 100,000 subscribers.